All right, good morning, everyone. It is Monday. We're going live today. I got Curtis, PE turned RE back. We got Denzel from Detroit, and we got a special last minute guest on today. We got Josh Martin. It's been a while. We haven't seen him around on the live streams recently, but hey, Josh, how's everything been, man?
It's been better, but I'm getting along here and possibly refinance this property. Maybe not at these rates right here, but just kind of watching the market.
So Josh is kind of one of the OGs in the ORAP community. He's been around for a long time. So before we kind of dig into, so Denzel was going to kind of talk about some listings or some properties in Detroit, so people interested in that market. But Josh, maybe quickly, since it's been a while, maybe give everyone a recap of where you're investing, what your story is quickly, and maybe what advice or what you're looking to get out of this life. I know it's kind of, you might want some advice you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm investing in Lacey, Washington. When I first moved up here, Dion was my boots on the ground. I know a lot of people that watch your channel know who Dion is. So yeah, we ended up. My wife and I bought a duplex here in Lacey a couple years ago. It's actually just been 2 years, and yeah, we this was the best thing that could have ever happened as far as house hacking and reducing our mortgage. Our tenants are paying 23.30 next door, and we're paying 13 and some change. So for a 3 bedroom, 1 bath with a big old yard. So we're pretty happy. We're on our way to buying another one, but some things took a turn, and we're going to try to figure out some different things for the future here. One of them is I was thinking about trying to invest with my father. He has a VA loan, and we're trying to figure out how to use that loan. I did talk to my lender, and he was saying that my dad can come in with no money down, but me as a partner would have to come up with something. So I'm going to have to talk to him more, or if there's anybody in the community that knows like how that works. I'm not ready right now. It's just some stuff that I'm trying to get some questions on how the VA loan works for him and how I can partner with him to buy a property.
All right, cool. So we'll dig into that right after this. But so yeah, Denzel, we are gonna kind of dig into the Detroit market, and I don't know if Curtis, if is that another market you might be considering with Pittsburgh or whatnot. But Denzel, how's the Detroit market looking?
Detroit market is really strong. Rents is still increasing. We still, yeah, I would say below the national rate. I mean, well, rent as far as rent goes, and we still got a lot of to improve in. Uh, pulled it up here, and I'm gonna share my screen. See if you guys can able to see it. Share.
Mark, you might have to approve it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to pop up on my end. I don't see anything to say. Okay. Oh,
What
oh,
about now?
where'd it go? It was there and then it disappeared. So I don't know if he.
All right, let me try it again.
I saw it, and then well, while he's working on that, Josh looks like Sarah is mentioning in the comments. So Josh wasn't able to make the ORAD event the second year in Vegas. He was there the first year, but Sarah was one of the speakers. But it
Is
keeps
it there?
popping up, but then disappearing. Like it. Let me try and
Interesting.
just see if I can give you full permission. It should be, because it shows up and then it disappears.
Let me try it one more time. Is it there? You see it?
Like it comes on my screen and then it disappears. Like it doesn't allow me to click on it.
No
Participate.
idea. I'm pressing allow share screen, and then I press share the screen, and then let's see.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it doesn't. It shows up and then it doesn't. Oh well, we got to just roll with it. So
Okay. Yeah. So basically, it's a couple markets I like to look into in Metro Detroit. Again, I try to stay in Metro Detroit when I'm buying rentals. You can get a lot of different duplexes, triplexes, even fourplexes in Detroit for cheap, probably within probably less than 200 grand. Probably need a 20, $50,000 worth of work. Depends on what area it is, but you can definitely get duplexes and triplexes there. Um, the cities I like to look into in the Metro Detroit area, I would say Roseville, if anybody's familiar, Roseville, Hazel Park, St. Clair Shores. For higher end duplexes, triplexes, I look at Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, as well. That's where I'm currently at. That's where I'm currently house hacking at as well. Um, and then those go from anywhere from, let's say, low 300s to all the way up into $700,000. So you can definitely get something there. Gut rents, we're talking about anywhere from 2,500 to 2,700 for the higher end. For lower end, you're probably looking anywhere from 1,200 to 1,700, $1,800, depending on how nice the unit is. Especially so, Grosse Pointe Park is a really good market to invest in. Nice school districts, 10 minutes away from Detroit, Michigan. Um, Everything else. But as far as single families go, like I said, Hazel Park is going to be one of the stronger contenders. Roseville, St. Clair Shores is in there as well. But yeah, rents there can also vary from anywhere from like, let's say, 1,300 to maybe $2,000. It just depends on what the quality unit you buy. So cash flow wise, for single families, you're probably looking at anywhere from our market from like probably like $250 to about potentially $400 or $500. It just depends on what your margin is, what are you buying it for, and where you're going. But again, with interest rates being what it is, we get a lot of out of state investors come in, especially from the West Coast. They come, or like New York, or whatever. We get a ton of them because here real estate is still fairly cheaper than the national average is when it comes to that. So when you're looking like first time home buyers, like something like middle class, you're looking at probably more in the 300, 250 to 300 range. So anywhere from down there, you can still make a profit. And we still have, like, we're starting to get our new builds. New builds are starting to cut, like they're not moving as fast as we thought they were. And so basically, we're starting to see a lot of price reductions in the 250 to 80 range. So if you're looking for a property that can still rent high, and still get a discount on the brand new build. We have a lot just sitting here vacant, not even finished, or builders just selling them off because they can't finish the product. Finish it. It's too expensive to finish, so they're selling them off.
So Sarah is asking, and it's Denzel Faulkner from Detroit. So there's his Instagram page in the chat. He's also been interviewed by Zuber. But Sarah's asking, where does everyone in Detroit work now? I'm from Pontiac and bought out of the GFC in Oakland County.
She said, "Where do they
Yeah,
work
like
at?"
I guess where's all
Let
the
me see.
jobs, or where are people working now?
Yeah. Um, we, I would say, obviously Detroit, a lot of jobs in Detroit, but everywhere throughout the different counties. So Oakland County, you get more of your I say you got some major hospitals down there, obviously, a lot of service industries down there. But then you got Wayne County, which is our biggest county, which is that's where Detroit is. So most of our jobs is probably all in Wayne County, Macomb County too. But that's more like the service industry as well too. A lot of restaurants and just like shopping and stuff like that. But when it comes down to jobs, they'd be all like Detroit wise.
Hmm. Now, you had said something that we don't really think about. So you had said good school district in Detroit. Is that really a thing?
Yeah, so like I said, the city that I am in is in Grosse Pointe Park. I'm literally like not even 7 to 10 minutes away. We got one of the highest school districts in here in the Tri County area. So yeah, and I would say the public school district is probably not so, but we do have a couple schools that like Cass Tech, which they produce a lot of NFL players. A lot of people go to U of M, Michigan, Michigan State from that school. So we got like maybe like two or three schools, and then the rest of it will probably be
Mhm.
private. But so my thing is, if you are looking in Detroit and you are trying to stay, like we got a couple, obviously if you stay near Wayne State University, which is another university we got down there, Detroit Mercy, that's all like west side of Detroit. And then Wayne State is like downtown mid side of Detroit. If you stay around those areas, you'd be fine. But far as like school districts, public schools, not so much.
See, someone in the Alex is backing up, because Curtis was dogging on Detroit school system, and Alex is coming from the guy in Lake Hood, so that's where Curtis is. So Josh,
Uh,
Alex is in the school community, but he knows Curtis, but he's up in the Northwest Pacific area also. So I'm not sure. I don't know how far he is from you, but he's in that area. He knows Dion also, so that's another guy maybe you should
Oh,
connect with, Josh. Hey, what's up, Charles? But yeah, so Curtis, seriously though, is Detroit a market you are considering also, or
No, I haven't really considered it too much. I think the only person I know that's investing there is Chester at the moment. And for me, that's not really enough boots on the ground. Now, Denzel, you seem great, just we haven't really met yet. So,
right. Yeah. 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 Detroit is, like I said, everybody, I think every time I get on here, we have a conversation about Detroit in a sense. And I think that, again, it's definitely a really good area to invest in. I mean, you still got major universities here. You still got them downtown. It's a lot of jobs. We got major hospitals, obviously. We get a lot of nursing. I mean, especially in the area I get a lot of nursing tenants, people in medical school. We even here at the city I live in, they have even a foundation where they even give nursing and medical students grants for rent, so they pay half of their rent, in the city. So I mean, honestly, I have no issues with Detroit investing now as far as like, but it's obviously areas. You go to certain areas, it's not going to be the best, right? So you stay away from those areas and stuff. So this is like any other city.
Sarah saying Chester is brave for investing in Detroit, but I see Chris Webb here in Virginia. So thanks for tuning in. It's been a while. So he's the econ guy. So he's been I think he's getting his master's. I think I forget, but he's been super busy. So it's been hard for him to get on. But Josh, like I said, so you're looking at possibly getting a new property or some making some moves. Is investing out of state on the table for you, or you're gonna be looking at your in your backyard still yet?
No, I mean, there was a point here where my wife and I were discussing where we wanted to go. She recently got a new job, not wanting to, but she ended up having to do something else, and a lot of her time is being spent in Portland, which is pretty far from us right now. So, uh, thought was moving down to Portland or buying a property down there, or maybe Vancouver, because it's easy to pop over and we can stay in Washington. But that didn't really follow through, and yeah, so now I'm not really thinking about out of state. I'm just going to stick around where I'm at. I really like Dion's method and just slow rolling, but it seems like from things that are happening in my life right now that I'm not really going to be able to do that. I mean, I can follow his route, you know. When I look at a lot of the stuff that he's done, it's everybody's life is different, you know. So, I don't see myself becoming a president of Home Depot anytime soon and making $200,000 a year. So, it's going to be a bit slow. I'm going to try the best I can. And like I said, my dad is definitely seeing what I'm doing in real estate. So it was pretty cool for him to, start talking to me about wanting to get a property. So apparently I've been doing good at just, relaying what I'm doing. And I try to do that with my wife and everybody I'm around so they're comfortable. I don't want to, like Dion said before, don't use other people's money if you don't know what you're doing. So I've been trying to know what I'm doing before I even attempt to borrow anybody's money. And I think my dad's seen that. And, I sat here and ran numbers with him, showed him everything I do until he glazed over and, didn't care anymore. Most of us do this stuff for hours in front of our computer and it seems like 20 minutes pass by. But yeah, I'm just trying to get back into running my numbers again because, I've been sitting here for a couple years and, now that money had gotten built up, it was about time to buy again. But as things kind of fell apart, my dad and I just started talking about a different method and way to go. And so maybe using his VA loan might be easier, not putting as much money down, getting a property. Again, this is something that I've never tried to get a VA loan with anyone before. I definitely have some questions as far as, I don't want to not put any money down. Um, I and on my end, I have to put some money down. But when I'm running the numbers, I'm not going to run them at zero because it's not going to make sense on the property. So I'm just trying to learn, like, how am I going to run the numbers? Is it normal? Do I just run them at the 20% to see what it looks like? And then I run them as VA numbers. And I'm a little confused, I think, in that spot on how to figure out if the property is going to be worth it or not. So that's a bit of a curve I'm looking to understand.
Well, I kind of skipped over it. I forgot to mention, but Sarah said reach out to her. So she's used her VA. Her and her husband both have the VA. They're both in the military. So that was kind of their story and what their presentation was at the event this year in Vegas. So she's super helpful. But yeah, I'll get you guys connected, and maybe she can give you
Cool.
some tips on using the VA and whatnot. And Curtis, I'm just giving Curtis crap because he hasn't joined school yet and taken up my offer to pay for his first month. Actually, Josh and Denzel, if you guys haven't heard, I am paying for people's first month of school right now and reimbursing them if they would like take up that offer so they can test it out. Because if anyone hasn't heard, Zuber was speaking in Hawaii at the event. Me and Mikey went out, so we bought tickets, and I was blown away. Zuber reimbursed me for the tickets. Like he was grateful that we came out to support him, and so he gave me, he reimbursed me the money. So I told him, hey, I'm going to pay it forward, and I want to use that money that you gave me, and I'll pay for 20 people's first month of school to test it out, and I'll reimburse them. So if anyone wants, you guys can take me up and check out school and see if you like it. There's no commitment. Even Web, you can join too. You haven't joined yet. So, but yeah, if you guys want, reach out to me and you guys can test it out. But
Okay.
actually, I was giving Chester shit that he couldn't ask questions because he's not in school, but he does have some questions here. So, let's see, where was it? I know there was one on taxes. I don't know if you're able to help him with that, Denzel, but he says, he uses, I'll just put on the screen. He uses 0.875% for property taxes. I know about the whole 50% SEV deal, but this is easier for me to run the numbers. Is that, would you give him any other advice on that or?
Um, Typically how I do my numbers, I just do go again half of what my purchase price is going to be. Keep it simple. So again, obviously I'm looking at the CEV as well. Here I know in Michigan we have a property tax calculator. So usually I just type in SEV as well, put it in, it'll auto populate it for me. But again, like I said, if I'm buying something for what it is, I'm just going to take half of that, find out what the millage rate is in the area, times it by that, and it'll get spit out the taxes for me. So it's pretty just do it that way, keep it simple. But I like to be as accurate as possible. So obviously every city here got different millage rates and stuff like that. So I just kind of look at it that way.
One other, so I know, so Pittsburgh definitely, the market has slowed, but if things are priced right, they're still going under contract in like 5, 7 days. Are you still seeing that in
Hmm.
Detroit? Is people kind of get, okay?
Yeah, yeah, same thing. I would say 2 weeks tops if it's really good, and then usually that first week is just going to be an open house anyway if it's on the MLS, and then they accepting offers Monday through Tuesday, Monday through accepting offers that follow on Monday or Tuesday. So it's been the same.
So we had talked about the crime a little bit. Is there any like flooding that happens? Is there anything that like if you're not from there that you may not know,
As far as crime,
or flooding, or just things that people don't really.
oh
Don't get into
no,
the
no, not
crime.
necessarily.
Flavio is gonna jump in and say you need a bulletproof
They
vest.
love the crime. They love when I talk about that. Um, No, so far as anything, we don't have any like natural disasters, storms, or anything like that. I mean, we've been getting a lot of rain, but I think everybody been getting a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms and stuff like that. But we don't really have natural disasters, which is great here, obviously in the metro area in Detroit. As far as crime go, it's been a big thing right now, and I'm pretty sure this is like one of those things. As far as like properties wise, they've been stealing AC condensers in different cities, right? So people have been having to obviously secure the AC condenser. People have been taking them, using them for scratch metal or selling them to scratching off the serial numbers off of them and things like that. So that's a reason why, like, as far as in Detroit, different areas, I wouldn't. And I talked about this a little bit last time too. I wouldn't like invest into certain cities, or I mean, not in Detroit, but certain areas in Detroit because the neighbors watch, people walk around, they see you in and out with your tools, they see your contractors over there, you leaving material over there. they will go in the house to take it, right? And then you can add literally you have your ring camera up or whatever blink camera up, they will still look at it and still go in there and take it. So my thing is I stay, again, Metro Detroit areas, cities around Metro Detroit areas, 15, 20 minutes away. If I am, and then we have a lot of like historical neighborhoods in Detroit, which is if you can find a good flip for, maybe a couple, like I say, couple grand, 200,000 or so, be able to flip one of those Detroit properties. Those are always good. Those go really quickly. So it's a different areas, but they're usually closer to the universities and such. But besides that, you just get your normal crime and stuff. But again, my main thing when I'm looking to invest into one of those Detroit properties is like my stuff is gonna probably get stolen, right? So I just don't do it. Yeah, I just hear too many horror stories about it. Had a guy one time. He bought a flip in Detroit and he redid the whole cement driveway, and put the sign up and everything. Truck ran it right over, grabbed the stuff out the house, took the condenser out the back, took the tools, it went away. So that's a big thing. Like the AC condensers right now are like hot, so you gotta watch it. Yeah. But that's it for crime. But as far as like obviously city crime, you're going to get that too, But I was just trying to focus more on like the property crime.
Yeah, I think Detroit offers a lot of opportunities still. So I'm still trying to get Sarah Bloom on. I don't know if you connected with her yet, Denzel. But she was on Coach
Oh,
Carson's channel recently, but she was in Pittsburgh.
I,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah. I remember you sent me her information. Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
did
so
connect.
she was in Pittsburgh. She was working with the people that we invest with, like Alex Deacon and Jeremy Taggart. She got her license under them. And then she moved to Detroit and she's doing property management out there. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys,
yeah.
but she's gonna be on the channel probably later in July after I get back from Japan. So
Oh, cool. Yeah.
that should be a fun one. Josh says electric fence could work wonders. Uh,
People do the bob wire. I swear I had a picture of it. They did a bob wire fence over it and
you guys are
put
giving
a block
Flavio
on it.
so much ammunition, man, for making comments now. Uh, Sarah says her mom got robbed at church when she was 20. Um, So okay, wait, Sarah,
Not funny. It's
yeah,
not funny, but I'm
okay,
just like,
Sarah,
geez.
if you are here, still here, would you rather
Yeah.
drive through Gary, Indiana, or I guess the worst part of Detroit? Because she was saying the other week, because they were talking about Gary, Indiana, that her mom would always make them use the bathroom on road trips and to make sure they wouldn't stop in Gary. She's like, everyone use the bathroom now, so we're not stopping in Gary, Indiana. Um, but for like I said, Josh hasn't been on in a while also. And a lot of people may not know that Josh, you relocated, right? You were in California before, right? And you relocated to start this journey. You kind of realized the cost of living in California and it wasn't helping you or helping you down this path. And you actually relocated to get your first property. You moved your life to the Washington area. So and then Curtis, like I said, his story is he house hacked. He boarded up a room. He had no shower basically for a while. And so both of you have made those sacrifices. But Josh, you're here because I think you want some advice on some things, maybe how to help you with your next step. So maybe what kind of stuff can we help you with, or maybe people in the chat can help you with.
Well, I'm going to try reaching out to Sarah. It sounds like, she can lead me in the right direction. Yeah, I think that's like the main thing right now is trying to figure out the VA loan with my dad. And, like I said, what it might cost us. I know with a VA loan, it's also 1 year we'd have to live in it. But if there's a possibility that I do it with him a couple times and we can get a couple properties, he was loving the fact that, when he passes away, that there'll be some stuff that he can leave to us, because right now he's just living with my brother and, he's just kind of living his old life, like we all do in the golden age or in the golden years. But for him, he is wanting to do something more with his life. And he's been in construction forever. So I think, talking to him about this, it's going to give him an outlet to actually start to get up off the couch and just, stop watching baseball and football and TV all day long and, be able to pick up some tools. And, it was exciting having him here for a month because he straight up told me when he's down there with my brother, he isn't motivated, and when he's up here, he's a lot more motivated. One of the biggest things I wanted is when he got up here was to get him to exercise. He does not walk. He doesn't do anything while he's down there in Southern California. So I had a plan to when he got up here, I was going to walk with him for 21 days straight, just like Dion talks about. Is 21 days is enough to make a habit. So I got him walking for 21 days. I got him on that Map My Run app, and he pretty much averaged 2 miles a day while he was here. And 30 days, he got just about 60 miles. So he was pretty proud of himself. And I'd love him to come back up here and keep him motivated. So that's kind of what the plan is move my dad in and start trying to find another property. And my brother, he's lived with my brother for quite a few years now. So my wife and I have talked about bringing him up here and us taking care of him. So yeah, just looks like that's going to be the route that's possibly taken here in the future. So
So yeah, with that VA loan, man. I mean, I haven't. So obviously, I'm not a veteran, so I never use it. But as far as what they, looking for a property, so obviously, it's like 0% down. You put down. You got to be in there 1 year. It has to be used for like it has to be used for your primary. So right, so you can't go ahead and buy it and say, hey, look, I want to use it as an investment property, unless it's like a duplex or triplex or something like that, and you're living in it's gonna be your primary. You're gonna stay there for a year. So I guess when you running your numbers, just kind of look at it as maybe a value add situation, maybe but it obviously has to pass VA appraisals as well too. So it got to be functionable too because they look at it differently because it's a federally backed loan. But basically, you want to see maybe it's a property that need a little, TLC, right? Where you probably getting it at a discount. So if you are putting 0% down, it could be beneficial to you because then maybe you can put some value add, build in equity, and now you stay there for a year, get the tenants in there, and then go ahead and use a VA loan again, move that out. So I think you kind of look at it the same way you looked at your first house hack, but just kind of look at it in the sense like, okay, well, if I'm not putting any money down, I need to find a property where I got maybe some appreciation there, or I got some built-in equity where you may have to just go ahead and make some of those units a little bit better, move, get the tenants in, and then go from there. You know, because obviously, you get different rates with VA loans and
Yeah,
yeah,
stuff.
or in our area, that there's also some on the market where you could assume they're VA loans, and I've seen a few of them
Yeah,
have like really low rates, so that's another possibility too.
yeah. I just had one down the street from my house that just had an assumption for VA. So you can look for those too. If I get in touch with an agent or someone that's familiar with the market, and maybe find if it's you can find a property like that too. That's you can assume somebody's loan, get their rate.
yeah, that pretty much happened here when we got this place. We used the FHA loan with 3.5% down, and the same type of thing happened. We had an appraiser come by, and there was a bunch of stuff that was wrong with the house because this was a value add as well. I mean, we did everything, all the countertops, sinks, new appliances, flooring, you name it. So, yeah, this is just. If I could do another value add, it's definitely going to be the way that I want to go. Um, I think it just comes down to what do I need to bring to the deal? Because my lender was saying that, my dad doesn't have to bring any money down, but if I'm a partner with my dad, then I'll have to bring some money to the table. So I didn't ask him how much, which I should have. But I'm just thinking, like I said, if he doesn't have to bring any money in, what do I need to bring? Is it just the closing costs or
Question.
what? Then is there something I can just wrap into the loan like I did before?
I
So I'm just trying to think of some ways like
got a
that.
got a question for you. So you said you had to bring money to the deal. Is it because you need both of your incomes to qualify?
Well, so that's the thing is if he runs his income by himself, he might not qualify for as much house. So I figured if we did it together, we could qualify for more house. We both got good credit. And again, putting no money down, it might be worth it for us, and we can start acquiring properties a little bit quicker than just sitting here and saving for 2 years. And because it's definitely took my wife and I 2 years just to make what we have. And I think we just had a lot of things that that happened over the couple of years. We even put more money into this unit, and as we've lived here, we wanted to be comfortable. Especially my wife. She did not want to live in a crappy house. We own this place, so I wanted her to feel comfortable. So we spent some money. We put some plants and trees in the back, and we made it our own. Regardless if we weren't going to live here, another year. So we wanted to feel comfortable, and like Zuber kind of says, is celebrate your wins. So we wanted to celebrate that we got this place, and yeah, so that's kind of what we did.
Well, that's important too to do though, because I mean, same here when I bought my first house hack, it was just like it was an old 100-year-old house. My wife was the same; she didn't want to live in something like that, where it wasn't updated. So we did minor updates and cosmetic repairs and things like that. You have to do that, especially if you plan on being there for a couple years or so, because you want to at least make it sustainable. You want to be able to be like, okay, I want to save this money. You don't want to be like, oh, let me go get a single family. I can't live in this anymore. You want to make it sustainable for you and your comfort zone so you can be able to go forward. So it makes sense. And I guess I was just asking about the income because, again, it may make just depends. Obviously talk to a lender, see what he's able to qualify for, see what, or go on Zillow, use the more, see how much, he can afford with his income. They got little calculators and just to get an idea and then look at those properties in that area. I mean, for that price range to see if those could work or if they couldn't work, because obviously bringing no money to the table and getting a solid interest rate is probably going to be using a VA loan. You want to take advantage of it. You don't want to have to bring anything if you don't
Yeah.
have to. But if you have to, guys trying to get a bigger property or for that makes sense too if it goes that way. But I would try to bring no money to the table at least as possible, especially if you're using a VA loan. I mean, that's the whole point of it. So try to take advantage of that. So you don't have to bring any too much to the table.
I don't know. I guess Chester said I was skipping his questions, but I don't know if these are actually questions. But he no. I mean, he just said, shoots. Where did it go? He was talking about DPD not being able to respond to all the calls. And he said something had a high millage rate. Where did it go? Shoots, I can't find it. But I guess he's just making because he does invest in Detroit, so he was just making comments, I guess, about their.
Well, yeah, if he's saying something about the military, yeah, Detroit has the highest. Wayne County definitely has the highest military. I mean, that's typical though among bigger cities. That's why I stay again away from Detroit. I stay metro Detroit areas. So yeah.
So yeah, Chester, I wasn't conveniently skipping over your questions. I just, but Joe Farrell's here, lending for entrepreneurs. He's coming out with, I think, maybe tomorrow, hopefully, but he's coming out with some big news. He has a little event going on, $25, generate income, like a 30-day challenge. So hopefully he'll get that out soon. But go check out his YouTube channel. Sarah's asking, Josh, you can do this with VA. You don't have to wait. We've bought 6 times with VA, held 4 properties, and in 48 months, all will be paid off. I'm 42, hubby is 40.
What?
Nice.
How do you? So I thought with the VA loan you could only buy one property every year, right? If you live in it.
Yeah, yeah. So VA loan once a year, live in it for a year, and then you're able to move out of it. And, you know, keep going from there.
Flavic, are you working? Curtis, are you from Flavio? Are you working on your next deal or what is the next move?
Yeah, so I'm meeting with some owners now. I don't have enough necessarily for like a house hack per se, but I'm meeting with some owners that have their stuff free and clear or very low, so we can work out some type of deal there. And then also I got a license this past month, and so I've been going to the brokerage and getting trained up on that stuff. Yeah, just trying to increase the active income there.
Yeah, I see you at a lot of real estate events in your area recently.
Hmm.
Let's
Yeah, I think
see.
I'm averaging maybe 1 to 2 per week. So
Good, man.
Good, good, good.
Curtis, let's see. Sarah says, yes, VA is 5.99% right now with excellent credit. Um,
What's excellent credit? Is it like 780 or is it 760? Thought it was something like that.
we'll see if Sarah is here or knows the answer for you on that.
Mine was pretty good, man. I had like everything above 780, and then oh my God, dude, like it's been a while, but I've been basically somebody stole my identity. I don't know how. We think it was through the hospital, because as soon as I like signed up at the hospital, all of a sudden I started getting credit cards and all these different things started coming in, and I realized that this wasn't me who was setting all this stuff up. I started calling around and shutting things down. I started seeing that somebody bought a car under my name and insurance and all this stuff. So I immediately had to like call the police department and let them know, and they started a case. And um, the dude got arrested finally, went to court, and then didn't show up in court. So I just got another letter the other day saying that he didn't show up for court and there's a warrant out for his arrest. And as soon as they catch him, then I will keep going through the process. But basically, I've gotten everything off of my credit except for one thing from Geico for like $1,400 from insurance of theirs. I've talked to Geico. I'm trying to get it off, but some advice that I can give some of the listeners out there that was given to me by the police officer was this. If any of you out there want to protect your credit, go on to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, the main three. Start yourself up a free account. You don't have to pay any money for it. And set your passwords and all your stuff up, and block and freeze and do whatever you need to your account so that nobody can get into there. If you set those accounts up, you're going to protect your credit, because the idiot who took my credit, however they got all my info, they had my social, they had everything. They literally made a driver's license with all my information but their picture on it. So they actually went into the DMV and was able to make this. So they could have also gone on to Equifax, TransUnion, and they could have blocked me out of my own credit. But I did it first. So since I was able to do it first, I was able to keep everything protected. So if I could, let anybody know out there, if you guys want to protect your credit, I would get onto those three and just start accounts just so nobody else can get in there and screw around with your credit, because I am having a hell of a time trying to deal with this. And
Hope. But
well,
yeah, we got Bill O'Connell tuning in. So morning, Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany says freeze your credit. Hold on, Josh is coming back. Hold on.
oh,
Yeah. All right, you're back. Yeah. So just some people said, yeah, Josh, lock your credit score, freeze your credit. But I did skip over Lynn's comment about Gary has no public bathrooms, and but Lynn also. So I don't know if you were there, Curtis. So in the school community, Zuber had on Friday he had That Squin on live, and Lynn's asking, did you see that live? And then Thatch was talking quite a bit about ADUs. Um,
Yeah, so Thatch is really big on those. He's up in Seattle area. I've actually met him before at an event. I made the drive up. ADUs are a great play if you're in the areas that he's in, like King County, Snohomish stuff. It's like Seattle, Bellevue, like area. Down by us in Pierce, which is like the Tacoma area, it's beginning to make more sense, right? But if the cost to build is the same, you actually get way more for King County. So, for example, up in King County, you could probably build an A for ADU for, let's say, 350,000. Well, that's going to sell for like 600 to 700,000. Whereas down in Pierce, if you build it for 350, it might only resell for four 450, right? So just the spreads up where he's at is a lot larger. I've thought about ADUs. To me, that seems way more active. Like I've never built before. That'd be have to learn a whole new skill. I personally think I'd much rather just either buy something that's already there or hold it until somebody can buy it off from me that wants to build up.
Well, that's well, I'm doing it right now, and wasn't by on accident. I know I had a house. Well, so my property again, I had a main house and I had a carriage house in the back. That's what we call it here, a carriage house, or a mother-in-law suite or whatever you wanted to call it. But it was literally a house in the back of the main house, and I had a house. I used to live there, and I rented out the main house last year, and ended up having to catch in a fire. My neighbor's garage caught it on fire, and it was a total loss. And then I was underinsured. It was just a whole thing. I went through it so many times already. But basically, now I'm building an ADU in the back now. Kind of got a picture of it too. I just pulled it up on my phone, see if you guys can see it. But basically, that's what it's like currently look. I don't know
Where's
if
the
it's
barbed wire
clear if you can
fence?
see it. It's no barbed wire fence. But anyway, basically, it's a garage. There it is. It's a garage, and then there's an apartment on top of it. So it's like about like a 700 square foot apartment on top
Mm.
of it. But probably going to be able to get about at least $1,700 worth of rent on it. Of the better property value increase in Grosse Pointe Park. Told you this is like one of the areas that you can get a duplex here. All the way go up to like $600,000 or $700,000. But for my area, parking is really, it's like a lot of street parking. Close houses are really close together. Alleyway. It's a certain area that I live in. So parking is really crucial. So that's why I added like a 2-car parking lot. I mean, a drive and then a 2-car garage in the back. So then we got parking for the
How,
tenants. So I'll get one side, the other tenant get the other
how's
side.
the like process from permitting to planning to getting actual work done itself?
Yeah. The first thing you want to do is definitely make sure the zoning is um, permitted in the area in the city that you want to be in, which in mine is currently is. It's pretty simple. You get with an architect, get an arch. And honestly, I think it's a guy on YouTube I actually follow. His name is, I don't know if you heard of him, Mark, but he goes by the ADU guy.
Yeah,
Have you
so I
heard of
guess
him?
quickly, so Curtis, you're so inactive in school. Flavio doesn't even know you're in school. But but for those of you that are in school, this Sunday Zuber is going live with Derek Sherrill, the ADU guy. So he will be speaking to the Zoom community. So
Yep.
yes, that is his vision, his mission. I believe he wants to give away what, like 1 million or so many ADUs he wanted to build by the time and give them all away, basically, in a sense. But he was also one of the speakers at uh year one event in Vegas. But yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you can find blueprints, that people have, but you need something more of an architecture. You get with an architect, you can get your plans. Those plans you can use for any other ADU you want to, as long as it's permitted for our size and zoning. Take it down to the city, get the plans approved. That's usually, depending on my cities. I'm a smaller city, so it took literally a couple, 3 to 4 days, 3 to 5 days, get it approved, and then at that point, get you a builder. You can go get a construction loan, possibly from a bank as well too, if you're not funding it yourself, and then just go ahead and start the building process. Whatever and permits, just kind of go from
Hmm.
there, right? Yeah.
Have any of you guys used private money from somebody? Like, I know there's a lot of people on, Mark's had on a show that have used private money. How do you run numbers on something like that? Like, say you want to buy a place and you needed to borrow 25,000 bucks from somebody. How do you do something like that? Like borrow it, run the numbers in order to pay them back and still have your numbers work.
Well, well, I mean, I haven't used private money before. I haven't got to that point yet where I needed to do so. But what I will say is, just as far as if you're running your numbers, just kind of make it to the point where if it's going to be a flip, most likely you're going to get that, you have that equity back, and you'll be able to get calculate what your profit, your net profit to be after you pay them back. That's how you kind of look at it. Obviously, private money is going to come at a higher interest rate, but at the end of the day, you want to calculate, okay, how long is it going to take me to flip this property, right? Or if I'm gonna refi the property, right, and give me your money back. So either way, if you're looking at flips or for long term use or whatever, how long is it going to take me to get this property up to code where I'm able to refi it, and then how much money will I be able to get back off my net profit, get money back in my account, and then I could pay him back. So it's kind of like when you're looking at the property, you just want to kind of look at what the property is worth and what you're buying it for. Again, your margin, and how much what it which is your ARV, your after repair value, and then that'll tell you, okay, if it's gonna be worth this, I can let's say if it's worth 150, you bought it for 150, but the ARV is 200. You go ahead and let's say you need to put 20,000 into it. So now it's you got 170, but now it's worth 200, and he gave you 25,000 for the down payment. We'll take the 25,000, give it back to him, and then take whatever's left, and that'll be back in your pocket. And then that's how you kind of look at it that way. So you're kind of looking at your margin, your spread, and how much you'd be able to get back.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was thinking it more from yeah, not that point of view. I was thinking of more of like
Oh, okay.
how most people I'm guessing that are going to loan that money aren't going to wait 30 years. So I'm guessing there's something where you
Oh no.
must have to yeah refinance like you said or something in order to get their money back. I just wasn't sure how it worked.
Yeah, it's a long term involved, right? And that's why I said the interest is probably going to be higher. I mean, especially if you got a good relationship with them or you
Mhm.
establish a relationship with them. But it just depends on what long term you guys negotiate, right? If it's going to be 6 months, to give his money back, if you flipping him that quick or you buying him, acquiring him that quickly, I mean, that's a pretty good standard there. But I mean, I would say 6 months
So,
to 12. So
Josh, you and I know some people that lend their cash out for months and even some for years, right? But they just get their paid out the interest only, and then at the end of the I think she does a 5 year term, then she gets the principal back too.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
it's just building relationships. So like Michelle in the community, right? She loans money to Millennial Mike for his deals in Gary, right? So he pays her a certain amount of interest that they've determined because I think she has like a retirement account or whatnot she can borrow off of. So she private lends to Millennial Mike, so someone that she trusts or believes in, and they've worked out their own deal. So it's really just you got to build relationships with people and show them what you're doing, and that's why Zuber and everyone is so big on putting out what you're doing, right? No matter how small it is, but just so everyone knows what you're working on and can kind of see what you're doing and kind of see the process so they can be, oh, I kind of trust this person. I see what the work they're doing.
Hmm.
But Lynn also mentions about the school, the ADU. So Thatch mentioned in his area, right? The big thing for him was that they're going to allow the ADU to have like its own separate tax ID number or property tax key number so that you can
Yeah,
Oh
sell it
wow,
separately later. It's not
yeah,
going to be,
you
yeah,
yeah
wow.
you condoize it,
yeah.
and then it gets its own tax thing. Now that's in like the Seattle area, in Tacoma that wasn't allowed until in like this year, right? So it's going to be city determinate. The state says that you can, but the cities can make it more restrictive, which I thought was kind of interesting. So you kind of got to know your local laws, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mark, because that's what I was saying. Like for me, like when I bought my duplex, uh, it was considered multifamily, right? So I was able to move out of this and rent it out. Now, since I'm building an ADU here, I'm not able to split my parcel, and it has to be owner occupied now because the new zoning laws took over and said now our ADUs they got to be owner occupied. They don't want me to be able to move out and be able to rent both of out anymore. So it got to be owner occupied. If I move from here and try to rent, I'm gonna lose my ADU interest in my on my title
Mm.
now. So it's yeah, that sucks. But so now my original plan from buying this and then going to something bigger or buying another duplex kind of changed. So now I'm just only looking at single families because the situation's just too good. I got a full functioning
Hmm.
house. I got 80 in the back. I'm comfortable. I'm not looking to house hack again unless, you know, I guess another better opportunity presents itself, or I'm finding the duplex at the right price to buy it, and I'm not how it's going to be not owner occupied.
And yeah, like interesting because like for here, if you build that all right, so let's say you buy the place and then you use that land as collateral to build. Once it's done and the permanent financing is in place, you can move out and go do it
Well,
again. So you don't have to wait here.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Well, yeah, this is just this city in particular. I don't know about any other city in Metro Detroit, but this one in particular. This is new because honestly, I'm probably the only person. Like we got like they call them carriage houses or mother-in-law suites. We have them, and they are already zone multifamily. I was that those are grandfathered in, but for new people that's building ADUs like me, and it's another guy literally down the street that did it. It's considered to be one property. I cannot split it, or I'm not able to move out. It has to be owner occupied. So that sucks. But it's still a lot of opportunity here too. If you was just building one, like I got this one house like 2 blocks away from me. It's probably less than like 800 square feet, but the lot is so long and it's just sit further back to the alleyway. You can literally build a house in front of it, and you probably get you know anywhere from 4 to 500,000 for it. If you built maybe a 200, 300,000 house, just depends on the margin and what type of build, what you get known bids for
Yeah,
builders.
and what's crazy is that here, where you used to only be able to add one, now they've upzoned everything. So now folks are tearing down a casita or a mother-in-law suite and building like three townhouses where there used to be just one
Oh
house.
wow,
Yeah. So it's just because
that's
everything's
cool.
got upzoned. So if I do go that route, that's going to be really interesting for me to learn on how that whole process is and how they can run their like numbers.
That's cool.
So Chris Webb says, I'm not sure if Josh knows a VA can be used for 1 to 4 units. So your dad can get a duplex for zero down. I lowered my housing because I have a retired nurse under my place. So it looks like you have a lot of resources here, Josh. If
Yeah.
you got Chris, you got Sarah, you can connect with and see if they can point you in the right direction. I'm
Uh,
not. I'm not sure. Do you have? Did you were you able to see the ORAD event a year or two? Because, like I said, Sarah presented on stage. So
no, I haven't been able to see that. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't really been looking at my social media too much lately, here and there. Part of what I'm trying to do just right now in life is just quiet everything down. I'm trying to wake up in the morning and work out, not look at my phone, and try to create some peace in my mind. There's a bunch of videos I've been watching on YouTube to just stop the chaos, I guess. There's just so much chaos in all of our lives, even just in real estate, whatever we're doing. I've been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of yoga, a lot of working out, a lot of running, and trying to just create a peace in my life. Running has been helping a lot. I'm actually, after this, I'm going to go meet Justin Canberra up in Bellevue. We're going to go have lunch. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he invited me to hang out once. So I decided I'd give him a call and go up there. I see that he runs a lot, so I'm trying to start making more friends with people that do some things that I like to do. I've seen him run and have medals and then jump on a cruise somewhere, and I'm like, I like what he's doing. I'd like to do that. So I started training a little while ago. My wife was running, and I'm like, I need to get out there and do that. I used to run track, so I jumped out there, started running, got that app, like I said, and man, I was trying to get to that 5K, and I just couldn't get there. I can only run like a couple miles, maybe because I'm a stoner. I smoke so much weed. I mean, obviously, my wife and I went by REI stoners. We smoke a lot, I mean, shit, she takes a dab and then goes out running. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, I can't do that. I have to not smoke all day and then go run so that I can actually, utilize my lungs while I'm out there running. But finally, finally hit that 5K mark and then kept doing it. And so I joined the 5K, and my dad was here for it, and so I got a few photos from that. But again, I haven't posted any of this stuff. I'm not looking for an audience for what I'm doing with my life right now. I'm just doing it for myself. I don't care what
That's
anybody else
dope.
says, what anybody else thinks. I'm just doing me.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Troy's here. Troy's also in your area, somewhat in your area. He's up in the Pacific Northwest, but he's in school. But he didn't know Justin was up in the Seattle area. But yeah, that's how Justin is. What he was with the Amazon, right? Amazon, was it
Mhm.
Amazon? Yeah, so he was
Yeah.
he retired from Amazon. He was kind of high up, but he still goes back. He even coaches the Amazon employees, I guess, for financial freedom or that kind of blueprint. But yeah, Justin's a great guy. So if you can connect with him, yeah, go have lunch with him. He even has that. Yeah, he's like, he's renting out his parking lots or his parking stalls and whatnot at his place. But I know Frank. I saw Frank tuning in, old guy REI. But I don't know if you know Josh, but Frank has plans to move up to where you folks are in the Pacific Northwest. So he actually talked to Justin recently. I think there were some properties he was just interested in, want to know more about. But yeah, Frank's looking to move up that way also.
Cool. That's
Um,
awesome. No, I did not know that. Like I said, I've taken a break from a lot of stuff for a while. A couple of years, I figured once I got into this place, it was just kind of trying to figure it out, keep doing the, renovations. And like I said, I think I just kind of fell off of, being on social media, talking to people. I know a few people have done that. I actually saw Sierra get back on your show. I know she disappeared for quite a while. So I know it's just not me. I know there's quite a few people that just disappear and come back, trying to figure things out. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good to meet up with Justin, and maybe I can talk to him again about some things that he does with his properties. Like I said, the parking lot thing, like you mentioned, was something I've heard in a video of his that I just thought was awesome. So I've mentioned it to a few different people, and yeah, hopefully I can just keep getting information from everyone on this channel and just everyone in the community. It's been great. So I'm glad to kind of get back out here and start talking to people. Try to get back on social media here little by little, but mainly just for real estate.
cool, man. Yeah, we'll get you in contact with Chris and Sarah, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Denzel. I don't know anything else you want to talk about the Detroit area. I know. Do you work with a lot of wholesalers? Do they bring you a lot of deals, or you're primarily maybe MLS stuff?
I got yeah. I know wholesalers and stuff like that. They do bring me stuff. But yeah, most of my stuff mostly comes from on market, off market. I got off market deals as well too. But that's just from other investors that I know that's possibly selling, always looking to offload some rentals and stuff. So I always kind of keep an eye out for those things.
And
So
and
yeah.
Denzel also coaches. So if anyone wants to get their license, you can reach out to him, and he coaches people to get their real estate license, right?
Yep. Help people pass their real estate exam, broker's exam, salesperson exam, either way. So, yep.
Curtis, when's the next event for you to be at or promote or whatnot?
Tonight I'm going to be down in Olympia, our state capital. I got moments with the mentor. There's this lady that's been in banking for 20 something years, so she's been sharing how to build relationships with banks, financial people, and then uh, we got Tacoma F.I.R.E is actually going to looks like it's going to be next week. They canceled it. It's normally the first week of the month, but because of the holiday, they're moving it to next week. So if you want to see me, Dion, Alex, I'm sure will be there. Josh, hopefully you can make it.
What time
But
is it?
it looks like it's going to be the 7th at 6 o'clock.
The 7th at 6 o'clock. I could possibly make that. I get off at 5. I think I can drive up there on time.
Yeah, we
Is
don't typically leave until like 9, so
is Mount Vernon far from you guys? That's where Troy is.
that's a bit of a drive. Yeah, that's probably not as far as like Yakima, but it's still a drive up there.
Is the meetup you're going to tonight, Curtis, an open one, or is it just something you're going to personally?
It is. Let's see. I actually got invited to it. So I do a lot of with like the chambers of commerce, and that's who it's through. If you want me to send you the link, and I can.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like I said, I'm not doing anything tonight. I wouldn't mind checking it out with you.
Cool. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, so Sarah looks like she's gonna run. I'll get you connected with her, Josh. Hopefully, she can give you some VA pointers. Lynn is asking about my inspection appraisal. No, they're gonna find out. Actually, I think today they're supposed to finish up the appraisal on it, and do the second sewer scope for the duplex. So hopefully, I'll get that back soon. And I was trying to leave the Bears comments out of here, but apparently Chris Webb and Joe want to jump in. Of all day, I wear my Bears hat, and Chris shows up. But yeah, he's a Patriots fan. So, but we got a Detroit fan here too. So I don't know how Denzel's feeling about us taking your guys' coach or one of your coaches.
Yeah. I can have them. I can have them. We'll be all right this year.
Flavio says he wants to go to Tacoma 5, but is yeah, Flavio needs a donkey to get there. Uh, wait, why, Sarah? Why did your son call you crazy? Yeah, we're gonna log off soon. Probably we're just kind of wrapping things up. But why did your son call you crazy? Um, oh, Troy's asking what meetup. Maybe he didn't hear Curtis.
So we have one tonight. It's in Olympia. It's a Moments with the Mentor. It's being talked and led by a lady that's been in baking for 20 years, and she's going to talk about how to make connections. And then Tacoma F.I., which is Dion's group, we are meeting July 7th at 6 p.m. in Tacoma.
Right. So Denzel, will you be in Vegas next year? Josh, do you think you'll be in Vegas next year for the event?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm like I said, I'm just
Yeah.
focusing on my stuff right now and trying to save money. I can't be spending any extra money right now. I mean, I even shut off all my streaming services. I got one YouTube because I don't like the
Mhm.
commercials when I'm trying to go through this kind of stuff, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, I've really pushed my budgeting sheet down there. I'm back in straight up frugal mode, so I got to be pretty cautious. I really want to get these properties and build as quick as I can, you know. So I'm gonna have to get pretty frugal and just be careful.
Yeah, I'm with with Josh right now. Same here. I'm planning on acquiring hopefully a property in the next few months. So it's probably going to take a lot of capital, which and I'm already in the process already building this thing back here. So I'm already having different things I'm working with, doing with. So I'm not sure what my finances is going to look like. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm sure there'll be more. We'll see you guys there sometime. Sometime. I know Josh can make his return. He was there at year one. Hey, Chris said he might. Yeah, I don't. That's what you said.
uh,
That's what you said the last year, Chris. I don't believe you. Actually, oh wait, Chris. Oh, Chris said he needs to go to Washington. Chris, I don't know if you're still here, but I know. Were you thinking about leaving Virginia? Was that what? I don't know if I remember you hearing saying that. Were you looking at relocating soon or whatnot over the next few years? But yeah, yeah, we can wrap it up there. Unless you guys have anything else you want to chime in on, Josh. Hopefully this has been helpful. You got any more questions, maybe, Josh? Anything else some of them can maybe help you with or whatnot?
No, man, I just appreciate you guys, being here to talk. I enjoy it so much. I watch your guys' videos all the time, but it's nice to be on the show and talking to you guys. But yeah, I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks again. And again, Dion is the one that I'm the biggest person, like I said, in my life that has been helping me out and doing this investing. Moving from California, he was the boots on the ground that I needed. And it's not even that, he's still just turned into a friend to me and, calls me to hang out and texts me randomly. So, I got nothing but respect for Dion, and hopefully I can, not push, but I can, let people understand that there's a path to financial freedom in the future and, do it like him. Not pushing people, but just nudging them along. I think one of his things is that he talks about is he's not there to, like twist anybody's arm into this. I can't remember exactly what he says, but I don't want to do the same thing either. So
Yep. I don't know if you guys heard last time. I saw someone talking about it on an Instagram reel a few weeks ago, but it was about the lighthouse and the tugboat. I don't know if you guys heard that.
mm,
Yeah. So like they both kind of do the same job, right? They both bring boats or vessels in to shore, right? So, but a tugboat has a different it goes out and actually tries to bring the vessel in, right? It goes out there, kind of forces it, brings it back to shore, right? Where the lighthouse is just on shore, it shines its light, it just does its job, and it hopefully other people still see it, and that's how they find their path, right? So there's two different ways to do it, right? And like you said, you're not trying to go out there to drag people to do what you're doing, right? But you just want to be like a lighthouse and be kind of show people what you're doing and show how you're doing it, and hopefully people will be attracted to that, and then come ashore and kind of jump on board to what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys got anything else, say it now. But if not, we'll wrap things up. I'll be here tomorrow, same time, with Aaron Amin and his partner. They're gonna talk about their residential assisted living project that they're working on. So they're pivoting toward that strategy. So they're doing a ground up new build residential assisted living facility, and they see that as what's going to be the big thing in the market now. And then Wednesday, I'll be back with another. Yeah, I'll be back with Dylan, Jack, and Stan, and that'll be my last one for a few weeks because I'll be in Japan for a few weeks. So I'll wrap things up on Wednesday, and then I'll be back in a few weeks, guys. But thanks for tuning in, and good to have you, Josh. But yeah, stick around, you guys, after I end this. All
Right
right,
on.
everyone. Thanks
Have
for
a great
tuning
trip.
in.